Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I am using the Scimitar. This weapon is the starting weapon for the Wanderer class, and you know, it's the first weapon I used in Dark Souls, because I started on my first playthrough as a Wanderer, and I have not picked up this weapon since that first playthrough. And you know, I like this weapon a lot, I really do. It's fun to use, it's very lightweight, and it's got a pretty cool moveset in my opinion. I like its moveset a lot. I've always liked the moveset of the curved swords, and being the first one I used, of course I liked this one. So, anyway, getting started. The Scimitar, it has a weight of 1.5 units, it has an E scaling in strength, and an A scaling in dexterity, and that's pretty much everything about it, really. I mentioned it's the starting weapon for the Wanderer class. You can also buy it from the Undead Male Merchant for like 600, 700 souls, whatever. So yeah, that pretty much sums up all the basic stuff on the weapon. It's really straightforward, and it's a fun weapon to use. I've got to say, I really enjoyed using this weapon again. It was nice for a change. So I'd have to say that the biggest pro of this weapon would definitely be it's so easy to combo someone. It's just so easy to stun lock someone in R1 spam for a combo. It's incredibly easy, in case I didn't get that point across. So that is without a doubt the biggest pro of the weapon, its ability to stun with its R1s and in general. Other pros that this weapon has, it's incredibly good at running people down when they're running away from you. The running attacks on the curved sword weapons are fantastic at chasing people down. Now, a few other pros worth mentioning: quick swing speed, decent damage, and a pretty fun moveset in my opinion. I like it a lot, really. So that, altogether, that makes for a fairly decent weapon. Now, the cons, there are a few. I would have to say that the biggest con would probably be that for one more weight, you would get a weapon that does about 10 more damage and has a longer reach, being the Falchion. And for one weight, that's really not that big of a deal, and really it's not that big of a difference between the two. But this weapon doesn't really have many cons against it. I guess you could also say if you're fighting someone with high poise, they can just poise stab you. Just go poise through a hit and go right in for a backstab. But that could be said about most weapons anyway that are light. So I'm really not thinking that that's a con, not a huge con at least. So overall, I guess there really are not that many huge cons with this weapon, but yeah, that's what I came up with for cons. Usually when you're seeing someone use the straight sword class weapons now, or not the straight sword, wow, because this totally looks like a straight sword. When you see someone using the curved sword class weapons now, I swear, my brain sometimes, it just, poof, things just fall out. I forget how to talk, I use the wrong words. When you see someone using these weapons now for the third time, it's one of those days, usually they are using it with a buff. Whether it be Sunlight Blade, Dark Moon Blade, or Crystal Magic Weapon, they will most likely be using one of the two. Now the reason for that is because of Brandon. Brandon builds using a Falchion or Scimitar, usually the Falchion, but some people have started to stray away from that and mix it up a little bit. Believe it or not, they're only going to a different weapon in its class because you're getting essentially the same damage for less weight, so you can put another point in vitality maybe. I don't know. Anyway, you'll see people using that because 1, fast swing speed, 2, high DPS, damage per second, woo, good stuff, and a fun moveset, really. So it's not like they do anything but R1 spam, so that doesn't matter to them, but that's usually what you'll see people doing with the curved sword class weapons. Not the straight sword, but the curved sword. Although you're seeing it a lot more with the straight sword class weapons too. I've seen a few people doing it with the broadsword recently specifically, but that's all aside from the point. Really, it's a good way to use it, but it's not the only way to use this weapon. I mean, yes, it's one-handed, my god. Yes, it's two-handed R1s are good at stun locking, they're fast, but that's not the only way to use this weapon. You can still do a single R1, you can still do running attacks just fine. You can use the R2s, but people don't do that, just because. So anyway, enough of that little rant. I thought of another con actually. Because of everyone doing that, you will find people who are very experienced at parrying this weapon. So be careful with your R1 spamming, guys. So anyway, just to quickly recap, biggest pro of the weapon, its ability to stun. Other pros would be fast swing speed, decent damage, and all that good stuff. Biggest con of the weapon, for one, weight more. You get a weapon with longer reach and slightly higher damage. Other cons would be that you can be poise stabbed easily. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is the last fight. I actually forgot I invaded as a, whatever it's called. I came in to hunt the Gravelord. I forgot why I was blue. It really confused me. But anyway, that was the last fight. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.